as I'm sure most of you are already aware, it's also probably the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. We do have breaking news. Cam Newton has officially been released by the New England Patriots, first reported by Jim McBride of the Boston Globe. And before we just kind of break down and discuss the ramifications of this and why this happened and potential suitors, I wanted to make light of this article I read this morning from Chase Goodbread. In light of this news, it said basically Newton missed a week leading up to the club's final preseason game after a misunderstanding of COVID-19 protocols forced him off of the practice field and into the NFL's 5-day re-entry cadence. So I'm not sure how or why there would be a misunderstanding there. That's the one thing that kind of stood out to me a little bit in regards to just the speculation of the situation. Maybe this is a case where we have something along the lines of Bill Belichick questioning Cam Newton's level of buy-in to the Patriot way. Again, I don't want to speculate, but I just thought that little news clip right there was definitely interesting. We all know Bill Belichick has a no BS mantra. If there's something that he sees that he doesn't like, he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care about your name recognition. He doesn't care if you were a former NFL MVP. He is going to move on from you. So I could see it being that type of thing where maybe there was just a lack of a buy-in from Cam Newton. I don't know that to be true. That's obviously purely speculative, and we'll know a lot more in the coming days as the news continues to break regarding the situation. And then secondly, and then most importantly, this is what I believe to be true, is it was just time to make a mutual parting of ways. The Patriots were ready to. They felt Mac Jones was ready to command an offense and had mastered the system. Go ahead and get his feet wet and get the ball rolling towards the Tom Brady replacement era of Mac Jones and the 15th overall pick in the most recent NFL draft. And then Cam just maybe just asking for his release so that he can go somewhere where he can have a chance to compete for the starting job and ultimately maybe this time next year be in a position to lead a Super Bowl roster to the promised land. Somebody like maybe Washington or maybe Denver. Again, I keep talking about the Broncos. I still think it was a mistake for them to pass on Justin Fields with the 9th overall pick and select Patrick Surtain. That's just me. Vic Fangio has he's more of a defensive-minded guy anyways, more of a, just a risk-averse type of head coach. And so he went with old steady Teddy Two Gloves, right? And with Houston, obviously, there's the familiarity aspect there with Nick Caserio and Cam Newton. Nick Caserio was the general manager of the New England Patriots at the time of Cam's original signing with the team prior to the 2020 season. And then the Philadelphia Eagles being the fourth team that I could see making the most sense, at least as of right now, or that I referenced on Twitter already. And I couldn't help but notice Chris Wilson hopped in my mentions there. Seemed a little surprised by that take. It was meant as no disrespect at all to either Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew. I just thought it was kind of ironic. If this deal by the Patriots is made 3 days ago, then maybe we don't see Philly go out and make a move to acquire somebody like Gardner Minshew. And as for our team, the Dallas Cowboys, from a roster building perspective, yeah, I mean, you would be upgrading your backup quarterback position over Ben DiNucci and Cooper Rush. No question about that. Cam Newton is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't think that's much of a hot take there. But you also got to think too. Cam Newton. If my presumptive reasoning behind why he got cut from the Patriots in the first place is because he wants to go compete for a starting job. He's not coming to Dallas knowing that he's going to sit behind a franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott. And even if he did, as a Cowboys fan, the excitement of bringing a guy like Cam in, while he does technically bolster your quarterback depth and your roster, if he's thrust into a situation this year into which he has to come in and, God forbid, be the starter and take over for Dak Prescott due to some sort of injury or otherwise, if it's already too late, you're already too far behind the 8 ball, you're not competing for a Super Bowl anyways if Cam Newton's the guy. It takes too much time. There's too many different nuances, both offensively and then just with Cam familiarizing himself with yet another new system. Kellen Moore would have to sort of tailor the offense and kind of dial it back a bit just to better fit the skill set of a guy like Cam Newton. It's just there's too many moving parts, too many moving pieces, too much happening for that move to make sense. And again, like I said, I don't think Cam Newton is going to willingly sign anywhere where he doesn't have a direct opportunity to go ahead and start anyway. And for Cowboys fans, I get the speculation, right? We're going to see, they're not 3 days removed from restructuring Zeke's contract and freeing up a couple extra $1 million in cap space there. So, the move makes so much sense. Or, I could even see storylines being that the Cowboys had spoken with Cam and his agency prior to him being cut, which would actually be tampering. So that technically wouldn't ever come to fruition, or at least be released as a news article, I would hope. But I could see it being spun that way. The Cowboys knew this was going to happen. They were being prepared for Cam Newton to get cut, freed up a couple $1 million from Zeke's contract, and boom, they go get him. But that's just I don't see that happening. So yeah, like financially, the move is definitely possible, just given what we know, what Cam was willing to sign for in 2020. He had a just shy of a $2 million deal with the Patriots there, and then going into this season, the 2021 calendar year, he had a 1-year $14 million deal, $2 million of which was bonused out, and I think he was on the books for $2.5 million roughly for this current season, and the remaining $7 or $8 million was all just incentive laden money, just based on if that could be earned if he were to win the MVP, doing things like earning Pro Bowl honors or even just winning playoff games and ultimately leading the Patriots to the Super Bowl. So again, financially, yes, it could be done. But again, for Cam Newton, I don't believe that it makes the most sense as far as him and his career and his willingness to go and chase the coveted Super Bowl Lombardi trophy. I do expect growing pains there with Mac Jones, though. Again, first year within a new system takes time. Familiarizing yourself with 4 brand new set of pass catchers. They brought in Hunter Henry. They signed Nelson Aguilar. And they have guys like Jacoby Myers returning from a season ago. So they got decent weaponry there. It just, again, I think it takes a little bit more time, and this is something that Josh McDaniels likely knows, right? It just takes a little bit of time for quarterbacks without eye-popping physical traits, whether that be game-breaking speed or arm strength. It takes a little bit more time usually for that type of stuff to translate. You guys feel free to comment on that. Let me know what you think. It's kind of interesting to get other people's perspectives as far as how they see the traits from the college level translate to the NFL. But for me, when I see a guy like Mac Jones, who is more of your prototypical pocket passing style of quarterback that can't necessarily get away with improvising, doing things on the run outside of the pocket, with his legs, and then making big time throws with just overpowering arm strength. A guy that lacks those sort of physical traits, I think it just takes a little bit more time to translate into the NFL, because what he's having to do is rely on his brain to process the information that he's seeing. And that's the biggest difference between the college game and the NFL game is, aside from speed, first and foremost, every player is faster. So windows are tighter, coverage is better, and the defensive disguise is oftentimes a lot more difficult to process. So when you're a guy that relies just solely on what you see and sort of cerebrally breaking down information as a quarterback, there's just a lot more that you have to, that everything has to sort of align. First of all, there has to be usually a clean pocket for a guy like Mac Jones to throw from, which isn't always the case. And then you have to not only believe what you're seeing, but also believe it quick enough to make up for your lack of arm strength or your lack of playmaking ability to get the job done. It's not easy to do, just to kind of be that dart thrower, that the guy that picks and prods away at defenses the way that the Patriots got so familiar seeing Tom Brady do. So it's officially official. Mac Jones, the new quarterback in New England. Justin Fields and Trey Lance, the soon-to-be new quarterbacks in Chicago and San Francisco, respectively. Only a matter of time there. Guys, football season's right around the corner. I keep saying it. I can't say it enough. I could not be more excited. Thank you all for continuing to share, show me support, and help the channel grow. We are growing pretty rapidly right now, so all that stuff is just really exciting. It's a great time of year.